So today I want to talk a little bit about plant management. As you can see, this is a pretty big plant. This is the tomato plant that we planted, started off as about a 4-inch transfer about 3 weeks ago. And it's been growing all this time in the normal size home Growfloat unit. Today I want to talk about transferring this into something where it can keep growing. One of the things that's really important is plant selection and where you're going to have it. So obviously this is probably too big for your kitchen countertop because this is going to keep growing. There are varieties that are bush tomato plants that really are designed for planters out on your patio. Those would be great, but this one will grow 6 or 8 feet tall. So we're going to transfer this into a different container. I want to show you how to do that. And part of it is it's choosing what kind of plants you want to grow. And I'll show you different ways of supporting these plants so you can go ahead and grow them inside or outside on your deck hydroponically. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the same spacer ring and bucket and beads, only we're going to transfer it into the larger, the Growfloat Max. As you can see, this is a bit thicker and it's got a center ring in that. But in this case, I expect this plant to get really big, and so we're going to use the Max, and we're just going to transfer this in, and then we're going to go ahead and, because this at this stage, this is starting to use a lot of solution, we're going to transfer it into just a standard 5-gallon bucket. We're going to just take this out, and as you can see, we need to kind of support this, and we're going to take it right out of the disc. And you can see that root structure. I'm going to take the ring with it. Now, that's what's growing down in there, and that's great. That looks just beautiful. One of the reasons I've designed the spacer rings is because this root ball gets so big, the spacer ring allows you to take it out and easily out of the Growfloat disc. So we're going to leave that behind, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to just transfer it right into the heavy disc. And just gently put those roots in there, and your spacer ring will fit just perfectly on there. And let's put our ring on first. Now we're just going to put our root structure right back in there. And we'll make sure all those roots get in there. The next thing we're going to do is, there's a couple different ways of supporting this plant, and I'm going to show you one right now. So how we're going to stake this particular one up, since it's this big already, is we're going to use just regular garden cage. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this around this and use that as a support. So for a minute I'm going to just move this over into the position where I want it, and then I'll show you how we set that up. This is just normal fencing that you can get at any hardware store. It's a 4-foot size, real easy to cut and bend, and I just wrapped it around the bucket and have some twisty ties in the back to hold it so it forms its shape. The nice thing about this kind of support is that if you have pets, cats or dogs that want to jump into things, this is going to keep them out of your plant. The other thing is, because this is a bigger bucket, if you have really small children, there's a lot of water in here, and the float is pretty solid, but a small child, you don't want them falling in there or anything like that. And so this is going to be a good protection to keep kids and animals out of your plant and out of the water. As the water starts going down, as the plant this big in a normal Growfloat container will start using a little bit of water every couple days. You'll have to replace it because this is starting to be a big plant. But in a 5-gallon bucket like this, it'll be just fine. You won't have to add it for maybe a week or 2 weeks at a time. And you can see there's little blossoms already starting to grow on there where we're going to have some tomatoes pretty quickly. And as the plant gets bigger, if you want, you can just add another row of mesh on up and it will support the plant just great. So it should do real well for you.